Hello, dear friends, and welcome to our podcast dedicated to sight reading through the lens of the historically informed performance practice. My name is Dina König-the, and today I have a very special guest, and I'm very thankful that you are here. Thanks, Dina, for coming. Could you please tell about yourself for our listeners?
Hi, I'm also happy to be here. Thanks. Well, I don't know what to say. My name is Dina. I was a musician, that's why I think we know each other. But in the past years, I changed my profession.
So you are a singer, and you made quite a successful career, as it seemed to be. Then you abruptly changed your profession. And I remember it was kind of a big story around this going on, and you were giving a lot of interviews, and because of the new profession, and because I think it happened during COVID also, or maybe a bit before. So could you tell a little bit more about your previous career as a singer, and how did you come to this decision to change your profession?
I came to the Scala in September 2012. I think I was young. I was already a mother with a young child. But I still think, well, who the hell actually taught me that it's going to be possible to study and to sing with a child? But well, okay, I did it. So I came. I studied 5 years at the Scala. Then I made a second master degree in singing pedagogy in Zurich. And so to say, I have no idea what to call a successful career or not, but it's true. I was basically extremely lucky to already step into the real world of singing and music in my third bachelor year, I would say. I was very lucky to work early on with great ensembles, great choirs. Yeah, some very good conductors. I mean, I think the person that kind of gave me the most chances, though I was so young, was Andrea Marcon. I entered in his choir, and then suddenly with 22 I ended up singing my first solo in the Theater Basel, just because, so to say, he trusted on me. And I had some very nice and great concerts with him in the, so to say, next years, or so to say past years now, that he gave me a lot of chances to sing solo and different ensembles. And so basically in both of my master degrees I was studying singing almost fully and being a mom, what was nice and cool, but also quite difficult, I must say. I think exactly the year when COVID happened, 2020, should have been probably the start of my real career, so to say, because I was before, and in my studies I was still being a bit between a soloist and a choir singer, and it was okay, but I never aimed to sing in choirs because, I don't know, it need to be or a very good choir or I don't sing. Sorry. So I always kind of aimed for solo repertoire or small medieval or Renaissance ensemble, because I love this music, with Dominique Villard, Baptiste Romain, and this kind of people. I mean, this kind of music I really enjoyed doing in ensemble, but not choir. And so to say, 2020 should have been really amazing. I would have had a big production with La Cetra and Andrea Marcon in Theater Basel. I would have had a solo concert with him, I don't know, one of my dream concerts to sing Stabat Mater by Pergolesi and Salve Regina by Pergolesi with him as a soloist. It was really okay, there I am. And Matthew Passion, soloist in Berlin, and many other big things, like really feeling, okay, I made it. And also, like, so to say, we don't forget this aspect because it's important also for the money. Finally, also like, okay, some some stability, or at least some good money. And then like, well, like not only for me, but for many people, COVID came. Yeah. All the concerts were cancelled, just without nothing. Some were promised to be postponed to later times. Most of them just cancelled. And that's it. And there I was, like many other people, without job, without concerts, without money, of course, suddenly, because I was at that time still living in Germany, and I know Switzerland, I think, managed it pretty well, even for all kind of businesses, but also for freelance people. But in Germany, wow, you needed to fight for so few money, and you needed to wait. I think I waited for this kind of Corona help like for 3 months, and then in the next years I moved to Switzerland, so it was different. But I heard also from other people that they needed to pay it back and whatever, and I was like, holy moly. But okay, even if people say or think that I had a successful career, maybe I did, I don't know, I cannot say it, but it was always quite difficult. I think also with myself, like I was very unsure or insecure. For many people, also in the professional world, I always kind of had the impression I was not enough. This was not enough. You need to work more. This is not enough. You have a boring voice. You have a voce bianca. You have this and that and this and I mean, it's normal. Not everyone can or should like you, and that's okay. Or this is not historical because you're not a countertenor or whatever, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, I think I was rejected to like 2 or 3 applications or project just because I was not a countertenor, and I'm like, excuse me,
what can I do about it?
This is not accurate. I mean, if you want to argue like this, then no countertenor, so to say, should sing Vivaldi, okay, and this kind of thing. So nonsense. So I always felt like even if I was giving like 100%, it seemed never enough. And at some point I began to really be tired about it. Maybe also even having, so to say, looking back now, maybe even falling a bit into depression because of that, because I was really always trying to give my best. So I had the feeling, okay, I made also like the pedagogical degree in terms of having maybe a bit more security, to have a stable job, so and to balance this kind of between teaching and freelancing. And I made a pedagogical degree in, so to say, quite varied fields. I mean, I studied for historical performance practice. I know how to sing classic. I know how to sing modern. I know how to sing jazz. I think I can do everything except Wagner and Jodel. But apart from that, and it was, I mean, of course, it was only the beginning, but it was very difficult to at all find a job as a singing teacher. So I also felt like, okay, what should I do? And then I was like, I'm really not happy. And I had like one day and one project that was before COVID. So all this kind of process inside of me started already a bit before. I always say COVID was the timing, but not the reason. I had one project, I came back home, and I really felt extremely depressed. The project, I'm sorry, it was shit. The people were, I'm sorry, shit. The conductor was, oh my God, I don't name it. The money was shit. So many circumstances. I'm sorry to say music is great, but so many things in the musical field I don't find great. And then I was really like, and then I had this moment where I'm like, do I really want to do this until my retirement, until I'm 60 or 70? I was like, holy, no. And then I think in this process, I already began to aim in my brain, or just like also in my life, to do something different. And it took a while. I was then researching already a bit. What can I do? What is possible? Because of course any new education is possible, but not, so to say, financially when you are dependent and when you have a child. So there were many things, and I was like also sure, like I didn't want to do anything that's related to computers or stuff like this. Well, and then COVID happened, and I think like most of the people, I had like 2 or 3 weeks of total crisis. But then in the end, I was just like, okay, that's probably the perfect moment. And instead of regretting all my concerts that I'm going to miss, all the great opportunities, all the money that's anyway gone for this project, I was like, okay, you know what? Then I change. And that's it. And I decided, and then this kind of process started, and somehow me and my husband, we ended up to have very big interest for the, how to say, public transport sector. Not only like that now I'm working for the Basler Verkehrsbetriebe in Basel, driving the green trams, yeah. We also were interested and aimed for and sent like applications for the SBB, so kind of the real trains. And because we thought, first of all, it's something great that we can, I don't know, really do something purposeful. We also admit that it's very great because they, so to say, they pay the full education, or at least when you do this kind of Quereinsteiger process, you just come from other jobs. Because I was also interested in, for instance, like some healthcare jobs, like a nurse or like taking care of old people, what, so to say, I would have really loved, but the money is just pretty bad for the 3 or 4 years that you need to do it. The education, and it's long. And we ended up sending applications to many companies that are related to public transport. We got some answers, but especially a very positive one from the BVB. And so the process began and we got taken. And now me and my husband, we are tram drivers in Basel for like 2 years now.
That's an amazing story, I must say. How do you enjoy your work in this sector, in this segment? How would you describe that? How did it change you as a person, this kind of work? And do you miss music, or like, do you miss going on stage?
Yeah, so basically I like the job. I like the change. We never knew how it was going to turn out. There were also the chances that we hated maybe, and we just want to come back. But to be honestly, at least in my case, it's not. I really like the job. I really like the company. I really love the stability. I love, so to say, but the calmness, if people may even laugh about it, because like I don't need to deal with people, so to say. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have my customers, I have the people that I bring from A to B, but it's like I don't need to interact, you know, or I don't need to force myself to be someone else, or I don't need, like in music, I don't need to put makeup. I have my uniform, I have my timing where I need to be there. And that's great. And I enjoy this kind of stability of I have my hours that I need to work. And as soon as I give up the key and the tram, so to say, basically could explode behind me, it's not my problem anymore. Yeah. And this I love, because now I can really distinguish between work times and free times. And I had the feeling as a musician, I don't know, maybe many people will compare, this is a never-ending process. It's 24/7. You need to prepare, you need to practice, you need to manage yourself, and you need to go on social media, and you need to do your homepage and this and that. And then you have this concert, but at the same time you prepare for the next 5 or whatever. So I had the feeling this was really difficult, and this is different now. I also must admit, I was always like a woman or a person a bit interested in, I don't know, cars, mechanics, I don't know how you call it, vehicles that move. And I find it great that now I'm really able to drive a tram. Okay, it's not an airplane, it's not an Airbus 360 whatever, but it's great. Like the company has like 3 big depots, and you have this big trams. I mean, you know them. Some of them, of the modern one, are super long, like 25, 30 meters. And I'm able to drive them. Yeah. And I love that. Maybe I should have started with your last question. Like, it's really funny, but I can honestly say after 2 years of being out of music, I don't miss it. It's very weird. Many people ask me, and I think most of the people are shocked by the answer that I say, I don't miss it. It's really weird. I thought I would. Even like being a singer, I hated the process of practicing. And I don't practice now. I mean, I have at home a piano, a guitar, whatever. My husband is like, he plays also jazz. He plays piano, he plays guitar. So often he grabs the guitar and says like, you want to sing something? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, but no. Yeah, it's just because I don't feel it. I think with this process of change, I really realized that for myself, also for my family and for other people, I was, from a young age, I was a singer. I was a singer. That was it. I had the feeling I didn't even have different possibilities after school, so to say. I was a singer. I was a musician. When I kind of openly wanted to talk about these issues and problems with people, so to say, close people, friends, it's like, no, you cannot do anything else. You are a singer. And I think with this change and with all this process, I really noticed I am much more. I was very lucky. I'm very thankful I got this voice. I'm very thankful for every experience that I got through all these years studying and being a singer, being a professional singer. But I am more than that. I really realized that. And this really changed me. And also this feeling of not being enough completely disappeared. Mm-hmm. And I love this. Mm-hmm. It was a long process, but it's like, I don't need to prove nothing to no one. Like in my current job, I need to be good. I need to be responsible. This is what I like and I do it. But I don't need to prove anything to anybody. And this is like what I really saw and I really loved in this whole process.
Basically, you learned a lot about yourself. You discovered a lot about yourself with this trip. But yeah, I've been talking also recently with Andrew Byrne about this like scene, and we discussed this movie Tar with Kate Blanchett, the new one, about like classical music, and yeah, she's being a conductor in a really big orchestra, and yeah, so they kind of present this toxic environment. What you were also mentioning, that you're never enough and you're like never good enough, and I myself also experienced that all the time. And you were also mentioning the situation where like the group was not great and like the conductor was not amazing, and afterwards it kind of was like a cherry on the cake where you decided to change. And I realize now so many people, they experience the same toxic environment in our field. Why do you think they cannot be honest to themselves? Or maybe why can we not discuss these things openly? Why is it all always under a rug and like always hidden? And it's like with this purpose on top, like music is so beautiful and we should serve to music and should dedicate ourselves to music. Why do you think we cannot openly talk about these things?
First of all, I don't know the movie. Maybe I should watch it. I also had the feeling when I changed some, and actually my first interview about that was with Andrew and Grace, I think. Many people kind of that contacted me, a lot of times I heard from them that my way of change or my decision was brave. At that time, I think when I changed, I didn't understood what exactly they meant by this is a brave decision. And I had many people telling to me, I think I would have the energy or the strength to change, but I cannot. Or many people also said kind of, I don't know what else would I do without music. So I think, I'm only talking from my point of view, but also I think why we still cannot talk openly about so many things is just because it's normal. It's the norm. It's about many different things. I think it's the same probably in the movie industry, in the dance industry, in classical music, in pop music. I don't know. Still so many things are normal. And a lot of times I also had the feeling you come, you suffer, you have doubts, you have problems. Depending with whom can you talk about this, but a lot of times what? You talk to colleagues or your teachers. And I have the feeling everyone has a different story, each person. But a lot of things, I think, are not told. Neither by our colleagues, honestly, neither by our teachers. What exactly you need to sacrifice, what exactly you need to know. It's just only about this process and keeping our passion for the music or for the profession. What I understand It's also maybe important. And it's not everything beautiful and always good and nice in no of the fields, of course. It's not only about music, but I think it's still like, it's normal. So I was told, it's normal, you need to wait. It's normal, you need to suffer. It's normal, it will come, it will come, it will come. So many people say that. It will come with a career, it will come with the concerts, it will even come with a job, or like with a pedagogic or a teaching job. Everything will come. Okay. But first of all, there's not security that it will come. Second, when? This is always the point, like, okay, do I need to wait now until I'm 35 or maybe 40? That I maybe get a teaching job, or I get this, or I get that. I have the feeling there's so many things that a lot of people, they are not aware about this themselves. Or we are ashamed of telling it, like with many things, like with abuse or whatever, because we just think it's normal. Maybe it's only happening to me, or it's just a small percentage, or if we say that openly, then maybe we are not hired, or we get fired, or whatever. It's like, it's so important in this business or this kind of related businesses, what other people think of us. I mean, so to say, I don't care if a grandma doesn't like my style of driving. Okay, she can take another tram. But like, so to say, but I was like so dependent what other people think of me. Always my impression. And then if you are too soft, you are too soft. If you say your meaning, you are, I don't know, a bitch, or you are whatever. And also I have still the feeling in many jobs, but even in music, it's still a very male-dominated domain. I'm sorry, but this is also what I saw. Maybe not as extreme as in, so to say, classical music or modern, but it's still. All the conductors are male, basically. Yeah, I don't know. I still had the feeling. I mean, for instance, like, I heard about stories, true or not, I don't know, but even I had my own experience where I really felt like disrespected in a way just because I'm a woman. I mean, if I don't know, in a contract, they write down, okay, as a woman, you need to have a dress, high heels, and need to be make-upped. Sorry, if I want to maybe have flat shoes because it's more comfortable, or a suit, and I don't want to wear makeup, you can only ask these things, I have a feeling, in an opera or in a theater. But apart from that, no one should, so to say, nowadays tell to a woman, okay, you need to have high heels and makeup and, I don't know, long hair. Or it's like, I always wanted, I had this kind of geek of like, I wanted to change my hair color. And a lot of times it was like, I wanted to dark blue or green, and it was not appropriate. I should not do this because it's not done, except if you are Cecilia Bartoli or whatever, some famous countertenor that is, I don't know how this guy is called now, that is also like riding the skateboard or something in the same time. So this kind of things, or like like when conductors tell you, do you know how your lipstick tastes? Should I tell you? Or this kind of things. I never had like physical abuse, but I had like this, or like a typical situation, like you are in a rehearsal, and there's the conductor, and he feels a bit insecure, and then like the boys from the continue tell things, can we improve, whatever. The conductor accepts it happily. I say something that could have helped for the tempo change from like 4/4 to 3/4. My goodness, he freaks out, like, how dare I? And these kind of situations where I also still feel in so many fields is different for men and women. And I think music is one of them.
My God, what a big topic. Yeah, we are entering. Actually, yeah, I experienced kind of I am experiencing at the moment kind of a similar situation. I was kicked out of the group because maybe I was not agreed to the main vibe, kind of because also it was never communicated how much money we are getting for every concert, and it was like never cool to ask, and I felt this pressure not to ask, so I could never be myself in rehearsals because I was expected always to smile and to be nice, whatever that means, I don't know. And if you don't smile for 5 minutes, like, what's wrong with you, you know? And how do you see this point? Like, why also are we so restricted in order to ask even, hey, how much are we going to get for this concert? I mean, this transparency, it's so important for us. And of course, I think for some organizers, it's really an advantage to keep their co-workers or partners, like ensemble partners in this gray zone, because then they get more power maybe. Or
yeah, as you say, also this kind of money issue, and like you should not ask, you should be just happy you were asked.
Yes.
Goodness. I think so. Yeah, maybe as a student it's like this. But sorry, all of us, at some point we grow, we get better, we get professionals. Well, I can also imagine and understand that, like so many other things changed in music, also financially wise. No, I mean, at the time of, 30 years ago, labels were hunting musicians for and paying for a recording. Nowadays, I don't know, I've never done a recording myself, but I know it's a very pain in the ass because you just need to pay everything yourself and to organize itself. I think money and power are probably, I don't know, I'm entering in a kind of psychological field, but it's like, I think it's always has been a big issue because money and power are related. Yeah, I think also there's a big point of shame maybe about money, because if you ask it, okay, then it's kind of, you don't trust us? Or although it's such a normal thing to know, to ask, okay, how much are we getting in an ensemble? How's this going to be divided? Or if you dare to ask for more, then how can you dare? And the problem, I think, is that it's sad, but it's kind of this behavior or understanding that kind of there's always going to be someone who is going to do it for less if you don't do it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I have the feeling for some institutions and some things, quality still matters, so they're willing to pay. But for other reasons, a lot of times they say, okay, you don't want to do it? Then we get someone else who does it for your money or even less. Mm-hmm. And still I have the feeling this kind of money thing, it's about shame. And then again, if you ask about it and you want to be precise, then somehow you're bitchy. Mm-hmm. I also had like this experience, although this is not okay. I'm sorry, I am now working, okay, it's a company, it's not a freelance thing, but even so to say, if you are a freelance plumber, I don't know, you come to repair the toilet, you say, I have this and this thing to do, it's going to cost around that, my charge for per hour is this and this, boom. I think it's not related between like if you are working for a company or you're freelance. It's just it should be more clearly, but I have the feeling in music there's a big wide range. Are you a student that is just starting? Are you someone in the middle? Are you Cecilia Bartoli or whatever that can ask 10,000 for a concert? So this is the thing. And also the measurement about quality is a very wide range. The same like about beauty. And I think this is the biggest problem in music, except if you work in a fixed orchestra, this kind of negotiation all the time and fighting about the money, I just find it's not okay and it should be organized better. I think in Switzerland there is this kind of regulation, this Swiss performer or whatever, that there's just like you have like a loan or whatever for per hour that is normal and you should not go under this. But I think also a lot of musicians a lot of times go under this even minimum because, as you say, very much because they just need to. They are dependent, they need a job and they pay for even so to say less than the minimum. And then, but it's like, it's still this kind of thing, it's not okay to ask. I mean, maybe I was a bit too direct after I stopped and some people still ask me to do something and then they ask me, okay, can you do this and this and like a little concert and a Gottesdienst and like for 3 or 4 days, 300 euros. And I'm sorry. And I just said, I'm sorry, I don't want to sound rude, but I'm not going to do this for this money. Yeah, I'm sorry, but there's not more. Okay. I understand. I think money and also the communication about that is not done, first of all, in a healthy way in the field of musicians. And I think a lot of times not in a very professional way. And I have the feeling it's collaboration or a snake that bites her own tail between musicians and the institutions. For my view.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dina. It was an amazing talk. Thanks. And wow, it was so enlightening for me. Thanks. You're great.
Staring out the window,
waiting for the one to call, looking at the time when we will meet. A well-known little corner in the middle of the street. Time seems going slower when you're coming closer. One day in your life, love will remind you what it was like, what it takes, what it means, or maybe meaning nothing at all till then. Keep this love letter for the future. A little smile, not many words, just one hello. Didn't know which way to go or what to say. Just sitting there then, and now look where we are. If time could tell what my heart would feel, one day in your life, love will remind you what it was like, what it takes, what it means, or maybe meaning nothing at all till then. Keep this love letter for the future. So keep this word